It was a night like any other in Shiloh. The temple was shrouded in silence. The oil lamps flickered, casting long shadows before going out completely. And there, lying on his small mat, was Samuel, a boy of only 12 years old. But this would not be an ordinary night. This would be the night that changed his life forever. Samuel had been brought to the priest Eli when he was just a baby. His mother, Hannah, had made a promise to God. Years before, she had cried in desperation, unable to have children. Her heart was broken. And there, in that same temple, she prayed, Lord, if you will look upon me and give me a son, I will dedicate him to you all the days of his life. Samuel, Samuel. The boy awakens. His heart beats fast. Someone called him. He was sure of it. He gets up quickly and runs to Eli's room. Here I am, Master. Did you call me? Eli, still half asleep, responds with a confused voice. I did not call you, my son. Go back and lie down. Samuel returns to his place. Maybe it was just a dream, he thinks. He closes his eyes again. Samuel. Again. The boy jumps from his bed. It wasn't a dream. Someone was calling him. He runs to Eli again. Here I am. You called me. Yes, I heard it. Eli responds more firmly, but gently. My son, I did not call you. Go back to sleep. For the third time, the voice echoes through the temple. Samuel, Samuel. The boy runs, almost breathless. Here I am. You called me. I'm sure of it. And then, Eli understands. His eyes widen. That voice wasn't his. It was his, God himself. After years of silence from heaven, after so long without hearing the divine voice, God was speaking. But he wasn't calling the old priest, he was calling a child. Eli says with a trembling voice, Go, lie down, and if he calls you again, answer. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. Samuel returns to his place, but now everything is different. His heart pounds, his hands tremble. He waits. Samuel, Samuel. And then, with a trembling but determined voice, he responds, Speak, for your servant is listening. And God spoke. That night, heaven opened for a 12-year-old boy, not for the powerful, not for the wise, for a child who was simply willing to listen. The message God gave Samuel wasn't easy. It was about judgment, about consequences. But Samuel heard everything, word for word. When the sun rose, Samuel was afraid. How could he tell Eli, his master, his mentor, that difficult message? But Eli insisted, and Samuel, with a courage that only comes from above, told him everything, every single word. Eli responds with a broken but serene voice. He is the Lord. Let him do what seems good to him. And from that day on, Samuel grew, and God was with him. He became a prophet, a judge, the man who would guide Israel. But it all began on a silent night, when he simply chose to answer, Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. You know what the most powerful part of this story is. Samuel didn't hear God's voice because he was special. He heard it because he was available. God wasn't looking for someone perfect. He was looking for someone willing. Samuel could have ignored it. He could have gone back to sleep. But he got up. He went. He asked. And when he finally understood who was calling him, he answered, How many times has God called you, and you thought it was just a coincidence? How many times has he whispered your name, and you thought it was your imagination? How many times has he knocked on the door of your heart, and you were too busy to open it? God doesn't need giants. He needs servants. He doesn't need perfection. He needs willingness. He doesn't need you to be the wisest, the strongest, or the most experienced. He just needs you to say, Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. And you, are you ready to listen? God is calling today, perhaps through this story, perhaps through something you've been feeling in your heart. It doesn't have to be an audible voice. Sometimes it's a whisper in the soul, a restlessness, a desire for more. Subscribe to this channel for more stories that will touch your heart and strengthen your faith. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any video, and share this message with someone who needs to hear that God is calling. Comment below. Speak, Lord, I am listening. Declare that you are ready to answer his call. And remember, God hasn't given up on you. He never gives up. He is calling now. The question is, will you answer?